Hey, folks, thank you for sticking around for the rest of this hour. So, Doug, I think the last time we talked about this would have been 4 years ago when we had just fired the show up again in the 2012 election. So why don't we kind of go through some of the basics? And I'm going to kick things off and talk about the Democratic caucus, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
So,
knock yourself out.
All right. So the Democrats, if you've never done it, it really is a cool thing. You get together and it's raucous, it's discussion, it's disorganized a little bit. You sit in groups with you basically split off into support camps, so to speak. And so you've got like this year you'd have your Hillary group of people on one side of the room. You're going to have your Bernie Sanders people on another side of the room, and then your Martin O'Malley people somewhere else in the room. And you get together, and then there's the vote is taken, the heads are counted, and the viability threshold is established. And if you're below that viability threshold, well, you can peel your support off to another candidate, and then whoever have to do that a few times, and whoever comes out with the most people wins the delegates out of that precinct. And during these discussion periods, you're able to argue with people from the other side. You're able to make personal pleas for support. You're able to just kind of mix it up with the other folks in the room, and it is a heck of a lot of fun. My 2008 was my first caucus, and it was just a blast. It was an absolute blast.
Well, there appears to be a lot of chaos. Too. I mean, people running around from place to place. Everything. Republicans do it.
It is awesome. Nice, yeah, you're right.
Nice, neat, so that we minimize the chance of fraud, unlike the Democrats who love fraud. Wait,
hold on a second. Go ahead. Go ahead.
From place to place. I've had Democratic friends say that they picked up the tape and moved it to include other people, right? So,
hey, well, that's those people's fault, though. That cracks me up. Hey, if you have been sort of if you've been shanghaied into being in another viability group, and you don't realize in time to not be counted or to not jump to another group, then that's on you, pal.
Well, it's fraud. It's just downright fraud is what it is. Anyway, but that's and you know what? That's what they do. They put tape on the ground and say, oh, this is Sanders' spot. This is Clinton's spot. Honest to God, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. The Republicans, on the other hand, do it just like good. Hey, I'm not the priest. There's no sleeping during my sermon.
Boring. Sorry, go ahead.
Everybody says, well, who do you want to vote for? And you write it down, and you put it in a basket, just like you do at the Catholic Church, and you pass it on down. Everybody puts in their vote, and they have a guy watching, making sure nobody's cheating, unlike the Democrats who love to cheat. And then they count it, and you have to have a certain threshold, and then they go, all right, who's your next vote? And they kind of go down the list until they can declare a winner, and then that's what they do.
Well, and don't you guys have speeches too, right?
Yeah, we have people. They come up there. They give speeches, and 1 year, my former campaign manager, not manager but helper, was there, and that was kind of fun catching up with him. He just wanted to see what it was like. There was a lot of people got up and spoke. A lot of other people, they have a lot of proxies, but if you have a giant caucus, of course, the candidates show up there to speak, and they kind of make this quick round. Because you only get, with the Republicans, you only get about an hour to be able to make all the different precincts, so they pick out the quickest one.
Oh, you know what was really funny about mine, because, they don't like to go for too long, these precinct captains, but I remember that in mine, I was over by Drake at the time, and in 2008, and the arguing between the Obama folks and the Clinton folks was so hot for the couple of those rounds that the time started to get away. The captains started getting a little bit cranky that we weren't moving on, because not only are you picking a candidate, but you're also picking delegates and for convention and people to go and be captains at the state and the county conventions and stuff. And so it's just, you also have to do party administrative things in the hour and a half that you're supposed to get this all done. And it was the Democrats who don't like to do things easy, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no, that's not easy at all.
So do you know where to go to find your location there, Doc?
I don't. Do you?
I do.
Well, actually, I do. In my district, it's the church up the road because that's where good Catholics go.
But what if you didn't know what if it's your first time and you didn't know where to look to find your precinct? Do you know where to do that?
I do not. Tell me.
I do. I found this out doing my my due diligence to get ready for this show and also get ready to go because I've moved, so I have a new precinct. If you're both parties have their websites up, and so you can go to either one. They have the same information. I think organized a little differently. You can go to iowademocrats.org or you can go to iowagop.org to find, and all you got to do is type in your address because there are lots of different precincts in a particular voting district, and find where you're supposed to go. And I believe it starts at 7:00 on February 1st.
Oh, yeah. Well, one last thing before we sign off. Fox has announced its final lineup for a GOP primetime debate.
Oh, I just saw this.
Yeah, the guy in the middle, in other words, the guy who's number one at the moment that they make the decision, is Cruz. Guy number two, which is to the left, is Trump. Guy number three, which is to the right, is Carson. So Carson is starting to make his way back up the polling numbers. And then, of course, you have Rubio is 4, Christie is 5, Bush is 6, and he's only beating Paul and Kasich. Now, the other prediction I'm going to make is, Bush isn't anywhere in the top 10, top 5 anyway, as far as finishing in Iowa. But watch New Hampshire. Watch how things will start to subtly change for him. I'm a believer that at some point he will pull it out and things will start turning his way.
Well, did you see this as we're on the final ticks of the clock here that the Donald Trump campaign came out about 20 minutes ago, so they're going to skip the debate Thursday night?
The Fox News debate?
Yes, sir.
No, I haven't heard that.
It just came out that he's threatening to skip the debate. I don't know if it's linked. I'm not going to read it here while we're on the air, but it's being moderated by Megyn Kelly. So put two and two together.
He's got to show up. He can't be shown to let one of these news reporters run him off. Well, that'd be the worst thing ever. So, but the other thing is if he doesn't show up, is anybody going to watch?
I don't know. One of my Facebook friends says that he was really sad that the candidates would have to talk about substantive issues rather than listen to Donald Trump spit slogans without offering any conservative policy proposals.
Yes, absolutely. Well, hey, thanks a lot, Blake. We're going to see everybody back next week. I see that you have something going on this week sometime.
Oh, man, I've got 4 gigs coming up in the next couple weeks. So check me out. I'm going to be at Blue Moon tomorrow night. I'm going to be at Ducktail on Saturday. Then I'm going to be at the Beaver Tap next Wednesday. And Ceviche, the new Cuban-style bar in the East Village, on next Saturday.
No kidding. I love Cuban.
Oh, man, it's great.
Food. That's awesome stuff. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you next week.